Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I'm your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Today, one of my Rate My Shoe Collection videos, where one of you wonderful gentlemen sent an image or images of your shoe collection into me, and I get the amazing opportunity to use those images to inspire the rest of us who may be on a journey to collecting certain types of shoes, building a bit of a collection so that we have the shoes that can cover us for any situation in life. I say to myself, why should women solely have their fascination with footwear? Us gentlemen can do the same too. And a gentleman called Philip has sent me some of his shoe collection here today. He tells me that this is quite an extensive collection. What we see here is actually the tip of the iceberg. He has about 20 other pairs as well. But shall we make a start? I'm just going to pick some of my highlights from his collection, and admittedly these are shoes which I would personally choose if I was in his shoes, so to speak. So the first one is quite a straightforward shoe, and if you're from North America, you'll be very familiar with the Edmonds shoe brand. They are a Goodyear welted maker of shoes, so they're making their shoes with good solid construction. They have been for a very long time. However, I've heard some rumblings which suggest the company has changed hands and there may be different outlooks to the way that manufacturing takes place, but that's not to dispel that the shoes that we have here are quite simple, straightforward, cap toe Oxford with a bit of broguing just over the toe cap. What I would describe as a quarter brogue is a very classic and elegant shoe in a brown colour, very flexible, very versatile colour, a leather soled shoe. Now you can see it's got Oxford lacing, which means it leans somewhat towards the more formal. And for me, when I see these shoes, which incidentally are called the Fifth Avenue in the Edmonds collection, I see a shoe which is extremely capable and very flexible. You could wear this easily with a suit. I'm wearing a three-piece suit right now, which is predominantly blue in colour. I would imagine a pair of shoes like this would perfect match for the suit that I'm wearing. And of course, when brought up to a mirror shine, you have something which can be seen as very formal, when with just something of a standard brush finish luster like this, you could say it could be, worn with chinos, maybe even denim, who's to say? But I think it's a good look. Goodyear welted, which means the shoe can go on for many years, got a great deal of longevity. It can be easily repaired, either by a local cobbler or you can send them back to the factory for a full refurbishment. This shoe costs about $425 in the USA. Edmonds do sell in the United Kingdom, however, through their online route, but they're much more expensive here. They are around about £550, this pair of shoes, if you were to buy it in British pounds, opposed to $425 in the USA. So I wouldn't recommend buying Edmonds in the UK. It is priced itself out of the market. Now, if we were to look at another pair of shoes, very, very similar, and we will have a little comparison in a moment. But as I flick the screen, you would think, these look exactly the same, do they not? But they are different. This is a pair of Crockett and Jones Surrey quarter brogues. I think it's the Surrey, could be the Westbourne. I'm not that familiar with the entire Crockett and Jones catalogue, but they're very, very similar. They're a similar colour. Now you will note it's a quarter brogue as well, but in this instance, there is some broguing, additional broguing, very attractive broguing, you will notice, around the lacing system, around the opening to the shoe, and around the hind quarters. Now for me, this brings a lot more life to the shoe, makes it more interesting. It does reduce the formality, but still I think it is a positive addition. Now this shoe is made, as I say, by Crockett and Jones, handmade British artisan manufacturers in Northamptonshire. And I'll compare these two pairs of shoes by putting them side by side. There is a lot of similarity. But for my money, it's always going to be the Crockett and Jones. Not just because of the additional broguing, which brings a lot of texture and pattern to the shoe makes it more interesting. But if I was weighing it up against Allen Edmonds and Crockett and Jones, I'm sorry, it's going to be Crockett and Jones all day, because the price point here in the UK is similar. So just to put some thoughts across your bow. But going back to a shoe manufacturer from the US, the Allen Edmonds McAllister in bourbon colour. Now this is a full wingtip brogue. Again, Goodyear welted, made by Allen Edmonds, undoubtedly in the USA. And you will notice this shoe, what it's got going for it is a myriad of broguing throughout the whole shoe. Starting on the medallion, the very front, the toe cap of the shoe, you've got the broguing just above, which gives the shoe its name, the wingtip brogue. You will see that sort of W shape on the vamp of the shoe. It's said to mimic the appearance of the wingtips of a bird in flight. Hence, this is why these are called wingtip brogues. But in addition to that, you will find additional broguing around the top of the vamp, around the lacing system, and on the hindquarters. So whereas the Fifth Avenue Allen Edmonds was a little bereft, lacking in broguing, I think the McAllister, they've wedged every single bit they possibly could on this shoe. Again, Oxford lacing style. But for me, I think it brings life to the shoe. There's so much going on. This is a very interesting shoe. The colour's good too. This, what they call bourbon colour, I think it's a shoe which will very easily show patina as you apply product to the shoe, shoe cream, shoe polish. It'll take on a life and a character of its own, and that broguing just adds to that characterfulness which these shoes have. Now, inherently, all that broguing means they are somewhat casual, but that's a good thing. You know, we don't always want to wear all of our dress shoes with a three-piece suit. I think in this instance, these shoes would look perfect with chinos, with corduroy, cavalry twill slacks. Maybe if you're in a somewhat dressed down situation with a blazer and grey flannel slacks, these will go nicely. Or, of course, the advantage of these, you can throw them into a more casual situation. Denim, absolutely. You know, these will work. They're a good, versatile shoe, and these may be, because of the characterfulness that we have here, these may be my favourite shoes in the collection. Allen Edmonds again. The Dalton brogue dress boot in a walnut colour, a classic. I've got a few pairs of boots which look like these, not Allen Edmonds. In my case, I have favoured Loke and Trickers, but this is Allen Edmonds, a rendition of a type of shoe boot which is synonymous with every collection of men who really enjoy shoes and boots, because a boot is something which I think is necessary in the cooler months. Right? It is definitely, you know, from October onwards for me, right through till May, I prefer my boots because they give me that extra warmth, stability. You know, they cosset the foot at a time of year where it needs extra protection. Now, this particular style of boot, very commonly seen, it's a full wingtip. Again, that W shape on the vamp, the broguing on the medallion, broguing around the lacing system, undoubtedly on the hindquarters. We have a derby style boot, so the lacing is on flaps, quite high, way up over the ankle, a classic gentleman's boot. And again, easily worn with jeans, easily worn with most semi-casual trousers, I would suggest. Chinos for sure. Maybe in a pinch you could even push them into service with your suit in the middle of winter if you want that extra protection. I think they're a great pair. Now, a little bit different, stepping outside of North America, we're going to TLB Mallorca. The model 107 from the Arista collection. It's the upper tier. The Arista collection is the upper tier of TLB Mallorca, and it's Goodyear welted and made of the best leathers. That's the Arista class of shoe in the TLB Mallorca range, very much the case. These would cost you €440, so we're into a fairly pricey category, and this is a classic Adelaide style shoe. It's an Oxford lacing system. The Adelaide style, which has got the broguing around the lacing system and on the toe cap. Credited, by the way, the Adelaide style shoe, credited to London-based shoe manufacturer George Cleverley. Classic and sleek. And this is what this style of shoe, the Adelaide, is all about. the sleekness, by not having the toe cap, by not having the raised broguing around the body of the shoe, you have a shoe which is streamlined, and as I say, it's the racing car of the footwear world. Slightly squared off toe, you will notice on this model 107. I like it. The colour is good, a darker, more chocolatey brown. It's a very attractive shoe, one I could easily imagine wearing with pretty much any colour of suit other than black. So if you're wearing a brown suit, a green suit, a grey suit, a blue style suit, this shoe has got you covered. It is stylish, it is elegant, and it would work very well. From TLB Mallorca, very classy, from the Spanish master shoemaker family. Crockett and Jones, back in the United Kingdom, the home of the world's best Goodyear welted shoes. And what we see here is the shoe, the black shoe, which I think every man should have in his collection. This is the Crockett and Jones Belgrave shoe. It would cost you about £700 if you were to buy it from their collection. And the reason why I favour this classic Goodyear welted shoe from Crockett and Jones, founded in 1879, one of the most classic British shoemakers, is, do you know what? Everybody always talks about the black cap-toe Oxford as being the gentleman's standard with his suits to make himself look smart and creditable and smart. Sorry, that's too smart, but you know what I mean. Very smart. I find the black cap-toe Oxford just too plain, too austere. It doesn't have anything which shows character. And for me, broguing on a shoe is the only way you can truly show character, unless you're going for a bit of patinering, a bit of burnishing. But for me, this is just like a pretty standard black cap-toe Oxford, but that little layer of what we call quarter broguing just over the toe cap, that's all you need. It just brings that little bit of interest to these beautiful, beautiful shoes. And for me, Crockett and Jones, they are one of the very best. Family company still. It's being run by the great, I think, grandson of the founder still, or is it just a great-grandson? But still in family hands, still putting passion and love into their shoes. And for me, this would be the only black shoe that you would need in your collection. It gets the job done. So there we go. It's quite the collection. I've just selected a number of the highlights from Philip's collection that came to my eye. Now you might say, there's some pretty plain shoes there. They're all pretty standard. They are shoes with quite a lot of broguing, shoes which are somewhat similar in colour, but they've all got their individual characteristics. Some have quite a rounded toe, like the Allen Edmonds. Some have quite a squared off toe, like the TLB Mallorca, the Adelaide. They've all got the little nuance which makes them very, very different and gives them their individual place within your shoe collection. If you have a shoe collection that you think we would all be inspired by, please send it in. Drop me an email with the images of your shoes, and I would be delighted to share them with the gentlemen here who enjoy gentlemen's footwear also. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like it, subscribe for more. And you can join me on this journey by becoming a member of my Patreon group. Just by following the link in the show notes below, you get the extra videos which I make exclusively for my patrons every week, but also you'll enjoy a personal relationship with me through the Patreon pages if you would like that. So, until the next time, choose your shoes from your collection carefully. They say a lot about you. And I'm sure Philip, well, he's got a multitude of shoes to choose from. Until the next time we meet, take care.